and welcome to Mann Sports Performance Podcast. I'm Molly, your host, and today I'm going to be hosting Claire, a professional runner and newfound weightlifter. But before we get started, I'd like to dedicate this podcast to Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens helps keep athletes hydrated and nourished throughout their workout. Use the code Mann Sports Performance 2019 for 10% off of your next purchase. Welcome, Claire. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a professional runner, what that's looked like, and then tell us a little bit about your health journey as well. So we know you're getting into weightlifting, so tell us a little about that.
So I've basically been running forever. I started running when I was a kid with my dad, and I ran in high school, I ran here at college, and then I always felt like something was missing. I obviously was getting like the runner's high from that, and then became a professional runner after college, but something was missing. So recently I started incorporating more weightlifting, more than just the little average training that we are required to do, but actually getting into it, getting serious about it. And it's been great. It's really changed my whole aspect on health and whatnot.
So it seems like running's really been integrated into your career starting when you were a kid, and it's really cool that you're incorporating weightlifting as well. So I know for our viewers, not everyone's going to be a professional athlete per se. So when we define an athlete, I often define an athlete as anyone that's doing an activity. But since you are top tier here, I would love to know what your definition of an athlete would be and how we can be relatable to our viewers today.
For sure. So, like you said, an athlete is really anybody. I mean, anything is an athletic activity. You think about just going grocery shopping. If you only grab a basket and then your basket's full, suddenly that's heavy, and now you need 3 other things. That's not only heavy, but it's also a balancing act. It's hard to carry. So that's just became a sport, basically a professional sport, if you ask me. And then, it's raining, you need to get your whole Costco trip into the house. You're gonna do that in one trip. That's also a professional sport. You need to get all the groceries at once. Especially if you live in an apartment, you got to get to the top floor. Your elevator's probably out of service, so you got to get up the stairs, all the groceries. But even if you just say as talking about younger kids or maybe older adults, just getting one bag of groceries that's full, that's still hard to try to carry that. Or that's all upper body. You think about getting down in a squat to go to the bathroom. That's also an athletic activity. So really everybody's an athlete, whether you identify as one or not.
I would totally agree with that. Lifting a grocery bag is an athletic event. It's like you're lifting a weight, right? Mm-hmm. And like you said, going to the bathroom is a squat. So it's really important that we keep those movement patterns in mind. I like that a lot. We know, and I've read in the research, and being a chiropractor myself too, we know that chiropractic can help influence how our athletes perform day to day and how all of our athletes will perform. Can you tell me a little bit about how chiropractic was part of your life growing up? Did you ever see a chiropractor, and did you notice a difference after? Do your adjustments hold really well? Just tell me what that looks like.
When I was a kid, definitely not as often as I probably should have. It was not on any kind of regular schedule. So maybe I guess my adjustments were holding a little bit longer back then, but it was also definitely not as rough on my body. I was just running when I felt like it, how much I felt like it, not on any kind of training plan. Now, through my more recent years, I have been on a much more strict, schedule with my chiropractor. Not their rules, more mine. And I definitely noticed my body performs much better post-adjustment, holds better. I can train for longer periods of time. I feel a lot better through those weeks. If I go way too long without seeing my chiropractor for whatever reason, then things just, they head downhill. Potentially into a crash and burn. But
well, tell me more about that. So you said crash and burn. So are you're seeing your chiropractor regularly? Great. And you're following it with movement, even better, right? So let's talk about what signals are going to our brain. So when we are in an activity, usually that activity, if we're using our body, it makes us feel better, right? The dopamine will be released and you feel happy. So we do know that the nervous system helps control that as well. So back to crash and burn. Holding your chiropractic adjustments are better when you get adjusted regularly, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And so you feel better after that. Do you feel happier?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely the neurological component to that. So we talk about the pathways, everything is opened up if there's no kinks in the system. And with running as well as with weightlifting, you get that dopamine release. It can be referred to as the runner's high, but we don't talk about so much a weightlifter's high, but same concept. You get that whole dopamine release. If you aren't getting adjusted, you have all those kinks in your system, the dopamine gets released and it doesn't really make it that far. So if you got your spine's free of any interference, you get that dopamine release and it runs all the way through your system and you feel great head to toe. And you're just able to get through your whole workout, you feel great, and then you can take all that great feeling into the rest of your day, maybe even into tomorrow.
Chiropractic has really helped you get through your journey. We've also talked a lot about how what an athlete is, and you being a professional athlete yourself, we couldn't get information from a better source. So thank you so much for being here. So recently I've also been doing a lot of research on grip strength, and you know how grip strength can be correlated to mortality rate, actually. When you get sad, then you start to lose some grip strength, your posture is going to change just a little bit. So it's really important, like you said, to keep your body out of that crash and burn state with chiropractic care. You know, when the nervous system is firing and you're really following it with movement, your adjustments are going to hold and you're going to feel better. So coming from the source itself, what is something that you want to leave our viewers with? It can be a couple things for them to take home, and then maybe an exercise if you have one for us.
Yeah, definitely. So for sure, we want everyone to be seeing their chiropractor at least semi-regularly. I mean, it doesn't have to be every week, but maybe shoot for every month. It's different for everybody. Everyone's going to feel different. Some people like to go twice a week. Some people it's every 2 weeks. But at least on a semi-regular basis, go see your chiropractor. Trust me, you're going to feel so much better for it. But also, something that you can just incorporate into your routine. You can do this in the gym. You can do it at home. You can set this up anywhere. We want to work on that grip strength, like you were just talking about. One of my favorite exercises is called the farmer's carry, and we are going to show you how to do it.
Back with Claire in the gym. She's going to show us how to do a farmer's carry. I know our viewers are so excited.
All right, so for this exercise, we have 2 kettlebells. You can see them right over here. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you keep your head nice and tall. We're going to roll our shoulders back. We're going to think about like we're carrying groceries in from outside. And we're going to bend down. We're going to keep our back super flat, stick our butt out, with shoulders back, head tall. And we're going to grab those kettlebells, stand up super tall, and we're just going to walk with them. So let me show you.
Claire, it was so great to have you here today. Thank you so much. I know our viewers loved you just as much as I did. Thank you so much for sharing all the facts with us and sharing your journey with chiropractic and being a professional athlete that's getting into weightlifting. This is Mann Sports Performance Podcast. Thank you so much for watching. And we really hope that you enjoyed our podcast talking about the importance of weightlifting in your chiropractic routine.
Thank you for having me.